Hello, folks. Sorry for the delay. First game prior to this one ran over, but welcome to the semifinal game in the Peewee A2 division of the Winter Meltdown Tournament in the greater Detroit area. We are at St. Clair Shores Arena here, Civic Center, for a rematch between your Findlay Trojans in their home white against the Midland Northstars. It's a rematch of game one of the tournament where the teams finished all square at 2 apiece. Take a moment pre-broadcast, give a shout out to the team for playing well this tournament so far, and a special birthday call out to this announcer's 15-year-old son, turned 15 today. Also running clock and scoreboard for us this weekend. So much appreciated, Ben, for all your help there. As we get ready to drop the puck for the start of period one, we're going to have Mason Cooper, flanked by River Archer and Ben Grace. Back on defense, we're going to have Henry Fort and Ricky Nichols. And in goal for this game for the Trojans is going to be Finn Biggs. Puck is dropped. Let's start that hockey. Knock to the side. Back to Fort. Fort gets it up to Grace. Grace brings it into the offensive zone. He's got it in the corner. He turns. Now tries to turn behind the net. Collected by the Northstars. Fort comes down to pinch. Nice job by Fort there. Northstars try to bang that up the boards, but collected at the top by Cooper. Cooper's got it now. Gets it down to Grace in the corner. Grace now works it behind the net. Now battling still with it. Midland pokes out aside, opposite to a defender, but then Cooper rushes in to knock that away. But then Midland collects, and they're going to move that through the neutral zone. River Archer tried to poke that aside. Midland pokes it forward. Cooper's got it. He's going to wrap that hard around the boards. Held in at the blue line. Trying to chip it forward was Archer. Hops over his stick. And now chip back out. And now Cooper tries to get to it, but just evaded him. But now we're going to have an offsides and a stoppage of play, and that'll be a neutral zone face-off. So we'll change lines here, offense and defense. George Homewood comes out to take face-off for the Trojans. He'll have Beach and Burkhart with him. Sloan and Teagarden on defense. Center ice face-off. Puck is dropped, gets that over. Burkhart chips it forward. Lost some feet. Homewood pulls it aside. Now Homewood's charging. He's going to go through there. He's going to take a shot. That's how loose in front. Burkhart's there. Oh, gets tipped away by Midland defense. Now in the corner battling with it. Homewood and Burkhart. Burkhart tried to get that out to the defense. Sorry, that was Beach. And now Homewood's got it from the side. Chips out in front again. Trying to get a stick on it. Poke it forward was Beach. Midland connects. Beach plays it along the walls, but it gets tipped out. Teagarden has it in the neutral zone. He goes opposite side of the ice to Burkhart. Burkhart now is going to get across the blue line. He's going to fire one towards the goal. That's going to go just wide. Beach now in there in pursuit. Midland chips it up the boards. That comes out towards the middle off the skate of Teagarden. Now Sloan trying to get it. He gets it up to Homewood. Homewood crosses. Homewood fires a shot. Kick saved by the Midland goaltender. Out to the middle. Homewood trying to get it. Gets tripped up. Teagarden knocks it back into the zone. Beach is there. Peter Koski comes off the bench. That squirts out to Homewood. Chipped aside. Beach runs into some players. And now Peter Koski gets it. He's going to wrap that towards the net. That hits off a player from Midland off their skate. Pitches out to the corner. Now Homewood tucks that away. He tries to get towards the net again. Tried to dangle. Ran into a defender for Midland. Now keeping that in. At the line is Peter Koski. Sends that forward. They're going to tip that out. Sloan's going to collect. Shape and Peter Koski out there with Schwab. Sloan's got a little bit of room as he's breaking in. He looks cut towards the middle, gets poked away. There's Peter Koski though. Peter Koski collects it. He tries to wrap it around the net. He gets edged out, but Shape is there. He tries to backhand one towards the net. That gets kicked out. But then still trying to pursue are the Trojans. That gets tipped forward, but then Ford is back on defense, chips it up along the board, stays in neutral ice. Now Schwab battling along the net with it, or along the boards with it. He pushes it forward, collected by Midland's defense. Forechecking hits the skate of Peter Koski. And now tied up across the middle, but then Eddie Homewood forces that out, causing them offsides, and we'll have a stoppage of play. Cooper out now with Grace and Archer. Cooper to take the face-off. Fort and Homewood still out there on defense. Eddie Homewood. Puck dropped in, knocked back out. Offside's the call. We'll set back up for another neutral zone face-off. Cooper with this face-off for the Trojans now. Knocks that back to Homewood on the defensive end. He's going to play that off the boards. Get that up to Archer. Archer's going to poke that forward across the neutral zone. Grace tried to keep that in. Now Fort's got it. Fort looking back, plays that off the boards, hits off Grace's stick. Now Grace is on a race for it. Grace is looking to get there first. Edged out in the corner. Nope, they're going to call icing on it. So we're going to bring this down. Looks like glove hand side. Nope, blocker side of Findlay goaltender Finn Biggs. Mason Cooper with the face-off now for the Trojans. Puck is dropped, tied up in the skates in the middle. Coming out with it is Midland. They drop it down to the corner. That's collected by Ricky Nichols. He tried to get that forward to Archer, lost in his skates. Now Midland with a shot. That goes high, tipped wide. Fort collects opposite corner. He tries to get that up the boards to Grace, gets knocked aside by Midland. Now Cooper's got it. He tries to reverse. He gets hit. That's going to be a penalty. And we're going to get a look early at the Trojan power play now, as we'll have player for Midland. Looks like number 16 going to the box for roughing. So Trojan power play here. Homewood joins Cooper and Grace out there with Sloan and Teagarden to start this minute 30 power play, and we'll get a face off to the blocker side of the Midland goaltender. Puck is dropped, knocked over towards Grace. Grace has it in the corner. He's surveying options. He gets it back over to Sloan. Sloan now tucks that along the boards, looking for a little bit of room. He tries to go towards the net. That's loose in front. Oh, gets sticked aside by Midland. Teagarden there on the pinch, plays it down along the boards. Grace has it now. Grace tried to get it towards the middle. That got sticked aside. And now Midland's going to send that down the length of the ice, and that's probably going to be an icing. That's going to get there. We're going to do this face-off all over again. Nope, they wave it off. They waved that off. And now Sloan reverses directions. Gets that up to Cooper. Cooper's got one to beat. He goes to the outside. He tries to edge him out. Hits the brakes. Gets that up to Teagarden. Oh, that just tips out of the zone. So now Teagarden back chasing. Teagarden surveying options. Tries to go cross ice. Intercepted by Midland. Midland now on the charge. Knocks that back in. Teagarden's got it. He's going to play it up the boards. That's going to squirt out to the middle off the boards. Then stick to side. Homewood's got it now. Homewood's going to play that up the boards now. Tried to get it to Cooper, but didn't work out. But Sloan's got it now. He's got a lot of open ice ahead of him, and now he's going to charge through. Get that across to Cooper as he falls across the line. Cooper's got it. Tucks it between the guy's legs. Makes another one miss. That's Homewood actually in. Homewood jumps up and scores! That was nasty little move there by George Homewood to put the Trojans up early on the power play. 1-0 here in the first period. Now it'll be Peter Koski out there with Burkhardt and Beach. He'll have Nichols and Fort out there on defense as well. Puck is dropped in the middle. Tipped aside. Caught. Nice stick move there by Nichols. Nichols is going to try to move that up to Peter Koski. Peter Koski's got it. He's going to try to dump that into the zone. Burkhardt back there now too. Kept in by Fort. Fort's going to fire a shot forward. That's going to go off of his skate and to the opposite corner. Peter Koski's there as well. Burkhardt comes to put pressure on in the corner too. Midland trying to chip that up. Now chipped out forward. Fort racing, but it leaves the zone. Fort, nice little stick move back. Gets crossed, but still trying to clear the zone was one of the Trojans, and so that's going to be an offsides, and we'll have a neutral zone face-off. Good pressure early by the Trojans. Let's see if they can keep this pace up. Peter Koski with the face-off, knocks that to the side. Beach has it. He puts it forward into the zone, but then sent cross ice and out. but then knocked aside, and off sides are the Northstars. So we're going to have another neutral zone face-off. Line change here as Cooper comes out with Schaaf and Schwab. Puck is dropped, knocked back into the zone. Ricky Nichols has it now. He's surveying options. He gets that up to Schaaf along the boards, pass just a little bit ahead of his stick. Schaaf staying there on the forecheck though. Now collected by Fort. Fort now trying to chip that up, kind of rolled off his stick. Midland's got it now. They're charging around the corner. Nichols is there with a stick down. Going opposite side, trying to find somebody, was Midland. Puck loose in front. Schwab gets a stick on it. Now Fort's got it. He's collected it in the corner. He's going to bang that up the boards. Schwab there too. They're both pushing forward. Kicked out. Schwab kicks it. Now Cooper tried to tuck that back. Now Cooper and Fort behind the net. Fort wraps it around. Harrison Schaaf out there too. Tried to poke that away. Bounced off the boards. Did Midland. Now that hits a skate. Comes out to the blue line. Firing a shot, but that's wide as Midland defense. Now Nichols has it. He tries to go opposite side. Turns around. He's got a guy all over his back, but he's going to bang that up the boards. That's going to go out, but didn't get called. Now chips back in. Now Schaaf there too. Pass out to the middle. Schwab's got it in the skates. Now sent back to the middle. Fort's got it now. Nice move by Fort. He gets that up to Schwab. Schwab's going to try to get that out. He passes towards the middle, and now Cooper charges. Cooper now going to the outside. He gets across center ice and dumps that. We're going to get an offensive line change here, along with a defensive change as Eddie Homewood, Webb Sloan come out. Archer out there right now with Grace and Homewood. George Homewood at center. Midland pumps that deep into the boards. Sloan's got it. It's behind him now. He's trying to move that up the boards. That gets poked away in front, but then Homewood was there to poke that forward as well. And now Homewood takes it out of the zone from Grace. And now Homewood with a nice little move. He's going other side. He takes a shot. Hits the goaltender's shoulder. Goes over the net. Grace and Archer there battling for it in the corner. Midland comes away with it, but we're going to have a call and probably a hold. Looks like on Midland. Yep, so we're going to have another penalty as number 16 goes back to the box for Midland. We're going to get another look at the Trojan power play here. So Cooper, Homewood, and Grace out there, again with Eddie Homewood and Sloan back on defense. Puck is dropped. Cooper gets that over to Homewood, gets it back to Sloan. Sloan kicks it back to Homewood. Homewood looking for a potential pass in the middle. He throws one at the net. Was it knocked in? Oh, it was held onto by the goaltender for Midland. So we'll set up and do this face-off again. Cooper knocks that back. Trying to get that over to Sloan, but tipped out by Midland. But then nice job there by Cooper to tip that up. That hits the net, so we're going to have a neutral zone face-off. Looks like it's going to be right at center ice. Minute 12 left for the power play opportunity for the Trojans. Cooper gets that over. Tried to get that over to over to Peter Koski. Puck sent on net. Finn Biggs sticks that aside. Now Webb Sloan's got it. He's going to look to leave the zone. He's going to try to bang that up along the board some more. Get that into the zone. Held up. Now chip backwards around. Cooper pursuing along with Grace and Homewood. Cooper's got it now in the corner. Looking for someone up front. Now maybe a wraparound. He tried it. Now trying to chip one in. That gets sent out. Teagarden comes up to get it. Nice pitch by Teagarden. He holds it in. Gets that over to Cooper. Cooper surveying options. He'll fire a shot. Oh, that just bounced behind the goaltender, but out through the crease. Grace was there trying to get a stick on it. He's got it in the corner now. He's going to try to wrap that to Cooper, but that gets blocked by the Midland defenseman. Grace still on it, though. That gets sent down. Teagarden now wraps it along the boards down to Homewood. That passes over his stick. Now back in the corner. Looking to get that out, but Cooper's there. He tucks one aside. Now he's looking towards the middle for it. He tried to throw one up. That gets blocked by a Midland defender. Now Cooper again with it in the corner. Midland at full strength as they fall right on top of Cooper. Cooper still comes out with the puck, looking for a little bit of room. He gets that out to Teagarden at the point. That bounces off of his skate. Homewood now battling for it. And Teagarden gets it back to Sloan. Nice work there. As Sloan goes opposite ice to Cooper, catching Midland in a change. He's got some room. He's going to try to fire a shot. Midland goaltender with the save. So just over 3.5 minutes left here in the first. We'll have an offensive zone faceoff. Rylan Peterkowski take this faceoff. He'll have Burkhart and Beach with him. Fort and Nichols out on defense. That goes over to Burkhart. Burkhart tries to chip that back. Held in by Fort. He gets tripped up too. Nope, they say it was offsides. It went out just a little bit, so we'll have a neutral zone faceoff now. Referee on that line. Studying the blue. Puck is dropped. Peterkowski tried to knock that forward. Held up by Nichols, although charging through with it is Midland. Nice work there by Fort on the stick lift. He's still got it behind the net. He's going to get that up to Burkhart. Burkhart's going to try to chip that up the boards. Held in by Midland defense. Caught in the middle, but tipped away. Burkhart tips that up to Peterkowski. Gets that up to Beach. Now chipped back deep. Now underneath for Midland, but then chipped out by Fort. Nice effort there by Fort. Now in pursuit are the Trojans on the forecheck. Held up at the line. As puck crosses, Nichols with a nice tie up there. Now Peterkowski's got it. He's going behind the net. He's going to flip that around the boards. Burkhart is there. He's going to try to battle for it. He's battling along with Peterkowski. They chip it forward. That gets out of the zone. And now they're going to do a quick line change. Beach in pursuit on the forecheck. Beach just right on him. Nice job by Homewood coming in too, and now Nichols has it. Nichols looks to flip that forward. That's still loose. Homewood going for it on the forecheck as well. That gets tipped out by Midland. Caught in the middle. Sticks forward by Fort to Homewood. Homewood now is going to pull it back. He's got an opportunity for a shot. He fires one. It's loose in front. It's still loose. Shape there. Homewood there. Homewood fires a shot from behind the net. Goes off the leg pad. Now that's sent out center ice. Now Nichols with a nice stick lift, and he's battling for it. And he races back. Good effort by Nichols. Nichols now looking to fire it forward. He does, but just misses a pass there to Homewood. And now looking, streaking. That should be an icing. Noah, and it is. Midland looking for that guy streaking out of the opposite side of the ice from the bench. So we're going to have an offensive zone face-off to the blocker side of the Midland goaltender. Cooper out there with Grace and Archer. Eddie Homewood back there with Teagarden. Goes back to Homewood. Oh, just missed on the dump in now. Teagarden pursuing. Pass just a little too far forward. Good defense by Teagarden who was there. He's going to chip that up to Archer along the boards. That's going to go a little far. It's going to get chipped back in to the corner by Midland. But Cooper digs that out along the boards, and he takes a hit, and there's going to be a penalty, and Ben Grace has it. Grace is going to try to get that up to Archer, and it's going to get touched up, and we're going to have another Trojan power play. It's now number 21 going into the box for Midland with less than a minute and a half left here in the first. So Grace Homewood, George Homewood, and Cooper out there with Teagarden and Eddie Homewood. Puck is dropped. Cooper gets that over to the side to Homewood. Homewood gets that back to Teagarden, now back to Homewood. Homewood tried to take it to the middle. Just lost it, but Cooper's there. Cooper knocks that back down deep. Grace going to pursue behind the net with it. Midland turns. Now kept in by Eddie Homewood down in the corner. Nice pinch there by Eddie Homewood. Ben Grace battling along the boards. Cooper down there to join him. That squirts out loose. Cooper gets that back out to Teagarden. Teagarden's going to fire a shot towards the net. That gets tipped in front of Grace. Tried to take a shot. Oh, got held up. Eddie Homewood fires it at the net. That goes behind. Cooper now down in the corner. He's surveying options. He tries to get that over to Sloan at the point. Sloan knocks at the side to Homewood. Homewood down, looking for some room. That comes out to Eddie Homewood. Sorry, Eddie tried to take a shot. Just lost it in the skates. Cooper collects. George Homewood there too. That gets over to Grace. Grace throws that at the net. Teagarden's got it. They're going to lift that all the way down the length of the ice. And Eddie Homewood's back there. He's going to get that up to Teagarden. Oh, just passed too far ahead of him. And we're going to have an icing. So we'll get a fresh line change out there on offense and defense. 23 seconds left here in the penalty. Just under 12 seconds left here in the first period. Peter Koski to take the face off for the Trojans. He'll have Archer and Burkhart out there with him. Sloan and Teagarden back on defense. Peter Koski gets that over to Archer. Coming up off the boards. Burkhart collects. He's battling for it down there. Nice try there. Kept in, and it hits out, and time's going to expire. That was a good play off that face-off. Burkhart almost took that off the boards. So at the end of one, your Findlay Trojans up 1-0 here in the semifinal game. We'll have 11 seconds left here on a power play to start the second. So teams are going to talk about it, switch sides, and join us back here momentarily. Now out to start the second period. We're going to have George Homewood, Beach, and Burkhart out there with Fort and Nichols. Finn Biggs in net. Homewood now ties that up. Burkhart tries to push that forward. Still in the skates. Homewood's got it. He's going to dump that down deep into the zone. Burkhart and Beach pursuing as that puck wraps around the net. Burkhart there battling, helps to hold it up with Beach. Now collected by Nichols. Nichols tries to chip that forward. That hits off of a player, off of Beach's cage, and hits the net. So we're going to have a face-off here. Both teams at full strength now. George Homewood with the face-off, tries to get that forward. Burkhart tries to get a shot. He's still got it in front. Oh, tipped away. He's got it behind the net. He's going to backhand one in front. Then tip again. So he wrapped that behind the net, got two quick shots off, but covered by the Midland goaltender. Puck is dropped. George Homewood tried to get that to the corner, but Midland collects on the defensive end. Now Midland keeps it out. Oh, nice. Held in by Ford and then tipped up forward. Nichols is racing. Ford is racing. Good job by the Findlay defense to get that back. Centering pass goes wide. Now shot in front. Tipped inside. And now held in and knocked out by Homewood. Now Burkhart's got it. Burkhart's pushing up the side of the ice. He's got some room. He dumps it down towards the net. Midland collects. We're going to get an little offensive forward change here, and a nice job there by Ricky Nichols. Nichols bangs that forward. Mason Cooper coming off the bench. Now he's in pursuit on the forecheck. Beach is there too. Cooper's got it now. Cooper throws one up towards the front. Homewood's there. Tried to get a stick on it, and then held up there by Ben Grace. Now kept back in by Homewood. Dumped deep into the zone. Grace is there behind the net pursuing, so Cooper now gets it. He tries to fire that back down behind the net. Grace now chasing. Now tipped forward by Midland. Cooper's got it. He sends it out and comes out in front, but knocked aside. That's going to get knocked out by Midland. Probably go down the length of the ice. It will, and that's an icing. So we're going to go back down to the glove hand side of the Midland goaltender. Cooper now with the face-off for the Trojans. Got tied up in the middle. Grace gets that back to Archer, chipped out to Sloan. Sloan gets it back off the boards to Archer. Archer sends it down into the corner. Midland has it now, looking to turn, maybe not. Goes up the board. Sloan on the pinch. He's got the puck. He's going to turn. He's battling in the corner for it. Now Sloan has it. He's looking for a little bit of room. Trying to get that to the corner to Cooper. Cooper fires a shot. Tipped in front. Grace has it. Fires the second shot. Oh, saved by the Midland goaltender. Now chipped up the boards by Midland. Midland now leaves the zone with it. Pass up by Midland. Nice defense by Sloan. Tipped aside. Back to the corner. Collected by Cooper. Now loose in front. Now collected by Sloan. Trying to get that out. Midland tips it back in. Teagarden's case, Teagarden's going to send that along the boards. Defense for Midland plays that back in the defensive zone. Now on the forecheck are the Trojans. And now Cooper coming up through the middle. Tips that forward. Sloan's got, Grace had it. Now Cooper's got it again. Cooper looks to enter the zone on the side. He's going to cut that to the outside. He's looking to take a shot. He fires it across off the skate of the defense. Now Peter Koski there. Peter Koski's behind the net with it. He's going to send one in front. That gets tipped aside by Midland. But then right out in front, almost getting a stick on it with Schaaf. And now it's back to Sloan on the defense. He's going to get that up to Peter Koski. Peter Koski's got it. Now Schaaf has it. Schaaf going to the outside. He's going to find Peter Koski in the middle. Take a shot. Oh, stick to side. Back to the corner by Midland. Midland now flips that out of the zone, opposite side of the ice. Racing back for it is Ricky Nichols. Nichols has it. He turns on the brakes. Makes the guy miss. Chips it up the boards. Now Schaaf has it. Schaaf is pushing. He's going to dump that down deep into the zone. Peter Koski and Schaaf out there now on the forecheck. Hank Schwab comes off the bench too. Nichols puck hit with the high stick, but that's okay. Eddie Homewood holds that in. That squirts out to the middle, but collected by Midland and chipped forward. Midland now collecting along the board, sending it back. Eddie Homewood's got it now. Eddie Homewood bangs that opposite side off the board to Peter Koski, and Schwab's there too. Schwab's got it. He's going to push. Schwab's pushing. He's going to look for a shot. Nope, he dumps it down into the corner, follows the puck. He goes and gets it opposite side. Tries to get that back to Nichols on the defense, and then we're going to have a penalty on Midland again. So now number 88 is going to the box for a minute and a half, and we'll get another look at a Trojan power play. So we'll have Cooper out there with George Homewood and Ben Grace. Ricky Nichols and Henry Fort back on defense. Just under 9 minutes here in the second. Cooper gets that over to Homewood. Homewood gets that back to Nichols. Nichols fires a shot in front. Oh, just goes wide. Grace there trying to make a play on it. And now Midland trying to get it out of the zone, and they do. And then they fire it back down deep behind the net. Thin big sticks to the side for Ricky Nichols. Nichols now tries to get that up the boards. Lost the puck, rolled over his stick. Midland now trying to get that along the boards, and Homewood comes out with it. He's got Ben Grace with him. He's going to cut to the outside. That gets stick to side, but Homewood's going to try to throw that deep into the zone. Ben Grace is there as well, trying to make a play behind the net. Now trying to chip it forward is Midland. They do. They try to look that forward. Nice job there by Nichols, pulling that forward. He's going to try to look for a shot. He gets one, but deflected by the stick of a Midland forward or defender. Now Fort tried to play that along the boards. Nice job by Fort. Puck goes out, comes out to the middle, kept in by Nichols. Nichols going to fire that back down deep into the zone. Grace is going to try to get it in the opposite corner. He's going for it. It gets sent down the ice by Midland. Nichols collects. He's got a little bit of space, but lost the puck, but luckily Cooper was there on the back end to chip that forward as well. Now they get it back to Fort. Fort's got a little bit of room here. He's going to try to get that forward. That gets kicked into the zone. And now kept in by George Homewood. George Homewood going to try to pursue that around the boards. Then Grace has it now. Grace now behind the net. Sends one in front. Couldn't get it through to Cooper on the pass. And now trying to keep that in was Nichols, but chipped forward by Midland. Racing for it is Fort. Fort with a nice job there. Knocked the player off the puck. Now Mason Cooper's got it. He's going to make a move to the outside. He's got Archer with him and Beach. He's going to move further. He leaves it for Beach. Beach tried to get that forward. Got tipped aside. Now Midland charging up the ice with it. Sloan trying to force a shot to the outside. He does, and gloved and held onto by Finn Biggs. Biggs on the ready there. Now Beach out there with Archer and Burkhart. That puck gets chipped towards the front, sent back down by the defense of Midland. Centered in front, blocked. Sloan tries to get that up the middle. He does. That's out of the zone, and that's an offside. So we're going to have a neutral zone face-off as Burkhart applying pressure and Beach. As Sloan flipped that up towards the blue line. Now Archer with the face-off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped back to Beach. Beach wraps it around the boards. Tried to get that forward, knocked back by Midland. Now battling along the boards by the blue line, and then it looks like we're going to have another penalty here. And .16 for Midland going to the box again for a trip here. Third penalty of the game right now for number 16. We're going to get another look at a Trojan power play here. With a face-off to the glove hand side of the Midland goaltender. Cooper out now to take the face-off for the Trojans. He's going to have Archer and George Homewood out with him. Teagarden and Sloan back on defense. Referees and coaches talking about that last call there. Puck is dropped. Cooper tying it up. Still stuck in skates. Midland has it. Kept in. Sloan puts that to the front. Gets tipped aside by Midland. Homewood there in pursuit. Cooper chips it back. Tried to get a centering pass to Archer. Archer tucks that one back as it got sticked aside. Now Archer's got it in the corner. He's going to try to get that over to Sloan. Oh, almost had a shot that got tipped away. And now Midland charging with it. Now nice play by Sloan to knock him off the puck. Cooper was there as well. He's now surveying options is Cooper. He's going to tuck that back aside. He's got Archer and Homewood with him. He gets it over to Homewood. Homewood's going to cut back. Tried to make a play to the center, but got tipped aside. And gloved down by Archer on that clear from the zone. Now Archer's going to split a couple guys. He's going to go. Tried to get that back. Now Cooper in the middle. Cooper fires. Oh, off the cage of the goaltender from Midland. Now Sloan's going to pinch down, try to keep that puck in the zone. He does. He's battling along the boards with it. Archer comes out with it. Archer's going to fire a shot. That got tipped aside. Now Homewood battling along the boards with it. Homewood gets it back to Teagarden. Teagarden, oh, air pass. Got that over to Sloan, but out of the zone. So now Sloan's going to try to look to reset. He's going to pull that back, get across center ice. He's going to fire that down deep into the zone as they get an offensive line change a defensive line change for the Trojans. Fort comes out with Homewood. Homewood keeps that in, gets that over to Archer. Archer tucks it back, trying to get a shot, held up by a stick. Now kept in by Fort. Nope, they say it went out. So we're going to have a neutral zone face-off, and Midland is back at full strength. So Peter Koski out there now with Schwab and Schaaf. along with Eddie Homewood and Henry Fort on defense. Peter Koski take the face-off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. That gets back to Fort. Fort chips that forward into the offensive zone. Nice job there by Shade to keep that in, trying to block that pass. Then sticked aside by Homewood. Peter Koski has it now. He gets it back to Fort. He plays it off the boards. Tried to get that up to Eddie Homewood, who was up there. And now errant pass. Trying to get that in there was the Trojans, but now collected. Nice job there by Peter Koski. Oh, and we're going to, oh, he came across the top and not underneath, so they're going to call a slash on that. So Peter Koski's going to go to the box for a minute and a half, and we're going to look at a Trojan penalty kill now with just under 4 minutes left in the second. So George Homewood and Ben Grace will come out. Homewood to take the face-off. Eddie Homewood and Henry Fort back on defense. Homewood tries to tie that up. That gets sent back. Fort's going to wrap that hard around the boards. That gets out of the zone. Midland forced to reset. Ben Grace on the pressure. Errant pass backwards. Ben Grace pursuing. Midland throws that up the boards. That gets chipped forward. George Homewood has it now. George Homewood now pursuing. He dumps that back down deep into the zone. Ben Grace pursuing again on the forecheck. Wrapped around the boards. Does Midland. Eddie Homewood comes down to pinch. Chips that back further along the boards. Now that gets sent out. Held up. Interference by Midland, and then they wanted a trip. Salsa pass backwards. Gets through. Shot was wide. Now trying on the wraparound was Midland, denied. Now centering pass just goes off the stick. Now sent in front. Open shot. And Midland scores on the power play. Tying the game up 1-1. With this in the second period. Mason Cooper out now, take face off for the Trojans. He'll have Archer and Grace with him. Cooper tries to knock that forward, gets tied up. Midland comes out with it. Sent back. Ford is there. He's going to bang that along the boards, try to get it up to Grace. Now trying centering to Archer. Collected by Midland. Now Grace is there. He knocks it into the zone across center ice. No icing. Grace in pursuit. Nichols has it now. Oh, nope, bounces over his stick. Thought he had it in at the blue line. Now Fort there in the corner making a play on the puck, tying him up. That comes out to Cooper. Cooper's going to reset. Little circle there. He's going to move forward. He's got some room. Now he's going to hold up. Pursue. Get that over to Grace. Grace is there. Grace is going to push that to the outside. He's still got it along the boards and then sent down the length of the ice. Icing waved off. Nichols back to pursue. Nice little nifty move there along the boards as Nichols tries to chip that up along the way to Grace. And then Grace intercepts that pass by Midland. Now Grace going. He's going to try to get across center ice. He's still battling with it. And that's going to be offside. Nice second and third effort there by Grace to move that forward. We'll have a neutral zone face-off. Homewood coming out there. Homewood coming out there with Burkhart and Beach. Sloan and Nichols back on defense. Puck is dropped. Beach has it now. He tries to send that opposite side of the ice. Midland collects, tries to chip it forward. They're going to chip it now to the opposite corner. Nichols has it now on defense. He gets held up behind the net. He's still got the puck battling for it. Sent out in front, chipped aside by Archer. Archer now is going to try to get that up to Beach. Beach is going to try to chip that forward. He does, out to Burkhart. Now knocked back into the zone, now chipped out. Now Sloan's got it. He's going to try to push it forward. That gets tipped. Beach follows. He gets it across center ice, dumps that into the zone. Now he's in pursuit. Now held in by Teagarden. Again by Teagarden, and that evades his skate. And now now Midland sending that back. Cross ice pass tipped aside by Sloan. Sloan gets that up to the middle of the ice to Beach. Beach has got a little bit of a break. We've got 3-on-2, and he pumps it down into the corner. Now he pursues. They wrap along the boards. Kept in by Homewood. Oh, tipped aside. Burkhart tried to get it. Now kept in by Teagarden. Over to Homewood. Homewood now goes to the outside. He's going to try to find a shot. He shoots his loose in front and held on to by the goaltender for Midland as Beach was there crashing, trying to get that tip in. So now with just 40 seconds left here in the first, line change, Peter Koski, Schaaf, and Schwab out there with Teagarden and Sloan on defense. Puck is dropped. Peter Koski tries to knock that to the corner. He does, but Midland collects. Now trying to go center ice with it is Midland. Now they're charging Teagarden there. They pull back. Teagarden's still there. They look for a cross ice pass. That just goes a little behind the player. Schaaf there as well, and Peter Koski. Nice job. That was clean, but they're going to call it. They're going to call a trip on Schaaf. So 92, Schaaf's going to go to the box for the Trojans. 92. And we're going to have another look at the Trojan penalty kill here as Cooper and Grace come out, still with Teagarden and Sloan on defense. Cooper's going to try to knock that away. That gets sent to Grace. Sloan is going to try to sauce that out, but doesn't get sauced out. Now loose in front. Teagarden knocks it forward, held in at the line, and then taken out. And the ref saw it, so we're going to have a neutral zone face-off. Tried to do the spin move and caught a little bit of white ice on the back end of that blue line, so move this a little further away from the Findlay goal here. Now Cooper knocks that back to Sloan. Sloan's not going to kick that out. Closing seconds of the period. Shot not on net. And that's going to be the end of 2 here, and we are all square at 1-1. And we'll have 1:12 left on the penalty to Schaaf for the Trojans. So teams are going to strategize, and they're going to switch sides and join us back here for an exciting third period. 13 minutes of hockey left in this semifinal matchup. Welcome back to the start of the third period. All square here at 1-1. Mason Cooper out to take the face-off here. Trojans man down. He'll be joined by Ben Grace, Henry Fort, and Ricky Nichols as well on defense. Knocked aside by Cooper. Grace to pursue. He's going to get that down into the zone, but collected by Midland as they move through center ice with it. They look to enter the offensive zone. They do, and it's going to be offsides. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off. Just under a minute left here in the Trojan penalty kill. Cooper again to take the face-off for the Trojans. He's going to knock that to the side. Sent in and on net. Blocker to side by Finn Biggs. Playing it along the boards is Ricky Nichols. Kicked out by Midland. Sent back behind the net. Cooper picks that up. Nice deflection there by Fort. Cooper's going to play that along the boards up to Midland. Ben Grace in pursuit. Nice job there by Grace hanging on their back. And now Nichols is going to get that up to Grace. Try to get that out of the zone. And it is. And so they're going to call offsides. Just hopped over that edge of the blue. And we're going to get a quick line change here on the offensive side as George Homewood comes out with River Archer. Homewood knocks that back to Nichols. Nichols now gets that over to Fort. Fort now plays that up the middle. Off the stick. Trying to get that is George Homewood. But moving it forward is Midland. Now moving to the outside is Midland. And playing the puck, but we're going to have another penalty on the Trojans as they're going to assess Henry Fort for a trip. So Trojans are going to be down 2 men for the next 12 seconds as 10 Fort goes into the box. So 3-on-5 situation for the next 12 seconds. So now Homewood with that face-off. Now Midland pursuing, looking opposite side, shot wide from the face-off circle. Homewood looking to hold that up in the corner. He does. We got a man out of the box now, so now it's 5-on-4. Midland with the man advantage. Now sticking that to the side is Cooper. Now Cooper with it. Cooper's going to try to play that along the boards. Gets held up by Midland behind the net. And now chipping that forward is Midland, and they chip it back down behind the net. Now they bring it back out to the point, looking for a shot. That's sticked aside by Cooper. Sent back out to the point. Cooper tried to jump that pass, just couldn't get there. They're going to fire another shot. That's going to hit Sloan in the skates. And now George Homewood has it. George Homewood's going to try to make a move. He gets held up there. And then backwards pass. And then trying to play that along the boards is Midland. Cooper and Sloan there. Sloan has it now. He comes out center ice. He gets a little bit of room. And now he's going to try to make a break for it. As he gets past the player, he puts on the brakes. He fires a shot. That's high loose in front. Oh, and almost knocked in. Archer comes out, takes the shot. That gets tipped with a glove. As Homewood tried to bring that down for a shot, but just couldn't hold on to it. And held on to by the goaltender for Midland. And we've got 3 seconds left here in the penalty to Fort. I can't read all that. Archer now to take the face-off for the Trojans. Nichols and Teagard on defense. Nichols keeps that in. Dumps that back down the corner. Penalty expires. Now Nichols comes out. He fires a shot. Gloved as Grace was pursuing for a potential rebound, but held onto by the goaltender for Midland. So Trojans back at full strength. Peter Koski out there, or Archer out there with Peter Koski and Grace rather. Fort and Nichols out there on defense. Puck loose down in the corner. Peter Koski trying to pursue. Chipped out by Midland. Now it's a race. Nichols back there as well. Chipped to the corner by Nichols. Now behind the net. Midland looking for a centering pass. That goes off a couple people. Now Peter Koski battling for it. He's in the corner with it. He chips that forward, glove down. But Ben Grace is there. Trying to chip that forward as well. Peter Koski again along the boards with it. That comes out to Fort. Fort surveying options. He's going to bang that up along the boards. That gets touched. Grace is racing for it. And they're going to call an icing on it, even though that got touched in the neutral zone by Midland. So now we're going to have George Homewood out there to take the face-off with Burkhardt and Beach. Fort and Nichols back on defense. Puck is dropped. Homewood gets that back to Fort. Fort's going to play that hard across the boards to Beach. Beach is going to try to get to it, but held in by Midland. And now collected by Burkhardt. Now Burkhardt's going to push. And we're going to have a penalty called behind the play on Beach. 19 Beach for Findlay is going to go in the box for tripping. So now we're going to have a Trojan penalty kill coming up. So now Cooper out there with George Homewood, Fort and Nichols on defense. Cooper to take the face-off for the Trojans. Cooper now gets caught up in the skates of the ref, gets knocked back to the defense. Cross ice pass by Midland. Shot in front, blocks. Cooper collects. Cooper's going to chip that up the boards. He's going to look for center ice now. He's going to pursue. He's going to keep going. He's going to see if he can cut in. Backhand one, loose in front, collected by Midland. Cooper there, though, stick lift. Puts that back down into the corner. Now loose behind the net. Midland has it, but Cooper pursuing behind the net. Now they wrap it around the opposite side of the boards. Fort now to pinch. Nice job by Fort, tying him up. Kept in by Homewood. Homewood's now going to take that along the boards. Now Homewood's going to pursue now as they go around the net. And then they're going to chip that down the length of the ice. And that looks like it might be an icing. Nope, hits the crease area, so icing waved off. Biggs forced to play it. Centering pass, shot, goes off of Clair, then shot in front. Nice leg pad save by Finn Biggs. This goes off the boards. This is going to go down the ice as Findlay clears. No icing, icing waved off. Now Midland going to play that shape out. Schwab there ties that up in the middle. Midland collects at center ice, looking to go in the middle. Nice job there by Findlay defense, collapsing there on the shooter and the centering pass. Now wrapped around the board. Schwab is there. See if he can try to chip that forward, at least tie it up. He does. Now Midland comes out with the loose puck. They look opposite side as they've got a person open for a shot. Biggs saw it the whole way, and he gloved it and held on to it. So just under 8 minutes left here in the third, all tied up 1-1. Fresh set of legs out here for the Trojans now as George Homewood comes to take the face-off. He's got Beach shoot out of the box as they killed the penalty with Burkhart. Webb Sloan and Eddie Homewood back on defense. Puck is dropped. They try to get that back to Homewood, or to Sloan. They fire it along the boards. Burkhart's there all alone. He's got to catch up to it. He's trying. Oh, and just too far. Another good opportunity, but just couldn't get there. So now Homewood with the face-off again. He's going to try and knock that back to Sloan. Sloan's going to reverse a little bit, take it along the boards. He gets held up with a hook, but he fights through it. Now he's fighting along the boards again. Now over to George Homewood. George Homewood crosses center ice. That gets tipped aside. Homewood still stays with it, though. He tries to get that to the middle. Burkhart and Beach both there, too. Now Homewood's got it. He's going to try to fire a shot that gets blocked, sticked aside. Then chipped forward by Eddie Homewood. Now back to the corner with it. Now sending it out of the zone, hits a player. And now there's a 3-on-2 with a shot, blocked and covered by Biggs. Nice job, Finn Biggs, and Trojan defense hustling back there with Sloan and Homewood. Fresh set of legs out there now. Just under 7 minutes left here in the third. Mason Cooper to take the face off. He'll have Grayson Archer back there with him. Puck gets back to Midland. Shot wide of the net. Grace now racing towards the end for it. Now Teagarden has it. He tries to chip that forward. That goes off a drop stick, then gets chipped ahead. Now Grace has it. Grace tries to chip it out of the zone. He gets held up. Now sent along the boards and collected by Sloan as that puck was dropping towards the net. Now Sloan's got to get a little bit of room. He tries to hit Grace on a pass. He does. Grace now tried to pull that aside, gets sticked aside, but Grace still battling. Grace down in the corner, chips it. Now he's got it behind the net. He's trying to find a little bit of space. He's got Cooper out front. He tried to wrap one in and tuck it. And Archer was there too, but held on to by the Midland goaltender. So we'll have a frozen puck and an offensive zone face-off for your Findlay Trojans. Now sent back from Cooper to Archer. Archer takes a shot. That bounces off the leg pad. Now Grace pursuing along the boards, chips it backwards. He's still got it in the corner. He's trying to battle through behind the net. Just gets tipped aside to Midland. Now Midland reverses. And now Midland reverses again. Grace is back there. He takes that puck. He fires a shot. Oh, just goes wide. Great effort there by Grace. And now Midland tries to tip that out. They do. But Sloan is back. Sloan bangs that against the boards up towards Cooper. Cooper now cuts towards the middle. Cooper with a little bit of space. Gets a stick lift there. Still got it in the corner. Tries to center it off of a stick. But then there is Grace. Grace in it. Archer ended up Grace with the follow. That's a goal for your Findlay Trojans. So that was Grace with the rebound. Puts the Trojans up 2-1 here with just under just about 5.5 left in the third. Now Peter Koski out to take the face off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Peter Koski tried to get that back to the defense, collected by Nichols. Nichols is going to bang that along the boards with the ensuing pressure from Midland. Now collected by Peter Koski off the boards. He's got some room. He's going to go up the boards, and he's going to dump that in back behind the net as Schwab's going to pursue on the forecheck. Midland dumps that out, but met by the Trojans. Nichols tried to bang that along the boards as well. Peter Koski tried to keep it in. Fort's got it now. He's going to dump that in. That's going to be an offsides, though, as Findlay players were still in the offensive zone. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off now. So Peter Koski take the face-off for the Trojans here in neutral ice. Tried to knock that forward. Midland collects, knocks it back to the defense, goes cross ice. Bounces that up the boards through the neutral zone, but just a little too far. Fort's back there to collect along the boards. He wraps it all the way down. Collecting it is Midland, and then sticked aside, and now Schaaf has it. Schaaf's going to try to take this out of the zone. He does. He chips it forward. Going for it. Icing waved off. Now Nichols is going to come down on the pinch. He's going to get this and try to take it behind the net. That gets poked out. Homewood there, too. That gets sent to center ice. Schwab's got it. He's going to chip that down to the corner. Now Midland collects and tries to knock that out, but it's kept in by Fort. Fort now playing it along the boards, chips out to the center. Midland collects now. They try to go for the pass through the middle, but coming off the bench is Beach. But we've got a too many men penalty as Findlay was changing lines. Beach played that to the middle. So now, with 4:17 left, they're going to throw Schaaf in the box on that one. Just got to pick somebody. And Cooper with that face-off, he gets that. He goes behind the net. He's going to bang that along the boards. That's going to bounce and be collected by the defense for Midland, who's going to send that to the corner. But nice job by Fort there. Tips that forward. Now Cooper's got it. He's got a little bit of room. He's got someone on the pursuit. He's going to send that down the ice. Icing waved off. As a couple Midland players had a chance, and the goaltender came out to play it. Now George Homewood to play that as well. Fort along the side. Homewood's got it now. That tips out towards center. Homewood now staying with it. Shot. Blocker save. Now nice work there by Findlay. Now cross ice pass for Midland. Stick lift by Nichols. Nichols now trying to chip this out. He gets that up to Homewood. We're going to have a tripping penalty as Homewood's got the puck. Homewood's moving forward with it. He tries to get that. Now it's touched by Midland. And so the Trojans now will even it up with bodies on the ice. So 35 seconds left in the penalty to Findlay. And now a minute 30 penalty to Midland. So we'll skate 4-on-4 for 35 seconds. And then Trojans will get almost a whole minute of a man advantage here. So let's see if they can put one in the back of the net here. Cooper with Grace out there right now. Goes back to Sloan. Sloan's going to fire a shot from the point. That's loose in front. Stick save by the goaltender. As Midland tries to knock that out of the zone, they do. That squirts out, but Sloan's there to collect. He's going to wrap that along the boards, try to get that over to Grace. Now it squirts loose, and Grace has it. Grace is going to push that forward, and a defender falls, so now Grace is going to try to get a shot off, but got tipped, but he's still got the puck behind the net. He's wrapping around. Almost got that, but sticked aside by Midland. Now coming down to get it is Sloan. Sloan now in the corner. He gets it to Grace. Grace tries to put one on net. That gets aside. Grace is there. Almost got a shot off, but caught by Midland. Now Trojans, man advantage. And then puck squirts out of the zone. And now collected by Cooper. Cooper's going to get this puck, wrap it around to Archer. He's going to try to tip that forward. That gets chipped back up. Now Archer's going to chip, or Cooper's going to chip it again. Archer battling along the boards with it as well. Midland has it now. And now almost chipped out, but then tipped back in by Midland. And now looking for a shot. Shot again. Oh, both shots blocked by the Findlay defense. And now Cooper's got it. He's going to try to look for a little bit of room as he skates around. Midland defender falls. Cooper takes it to the outside. Cooper still got it. He's going to try to cut in. He's going to lift one up. Oh, hits the side of the net. Cooper now battling still behind the net with it. Gets it to the corner. Held up in the skates. He's going to wrap it around opposite side. Grace is there. He's going to try to get that down a little bit lower. Held up by Midland. They're going to now try to clear the zone with it. Archer there to disrupt. But they've got, and then knocking him off the puck there is Cooper. They're going to fire a shot. Cooper blocks that. Sloan's got it now. He's going to try to chip that along the boards. That's held backwards. Now he's going to chip, and he gets tripped up. Still loose. Teagarden gets that up to Grace. Grace chips it out of the zone. Now Grace knocks it forward. Grace is racing for it. He's still got it. Back behind the net with it is Grace. Trying to center one up in front. Still loose. Chipped out by Midland. Midland at full strength. As they're looking to pursue, Homewood tried to pull that back. Now Ford in the corner. Ford makes a play along the boards. That puck gets chipped aside by Midland. Now they send it back up towards the defense. Midland now tried to find someone in the center. That pass just went awry. Now Midland trying to tip that. That puck gets tipped along the boards. We're going to have a penalty here, it looks like, as Archer ran into a player in the back behind the play, going for the puck. So now with just under 47 or 48 seconds left here, Findlay's going to be a man down. There's an empty net for Midland as they're going to skate 6-on-4 here. And Findlay is going to call a timeout here to talk strategy. It's like 2 players in the box right now for Findlay because not sure if they were assessing a 10-2 or what, but like Findlay with 2 players in the box at the moment. All right, looks like the timeout's over. Findlay will have Nichols, Sloan, Cooper, and George Homewood out there to try to kill off the remaining 48 seconds here in the game. Midland will have an empty net with 6 skaters on, giving them a 2-man advantage. Cooper to take the face-off for the Trojans. That gets knocked over to Midland. Midland gets it out to the point. Midland cycles it back. Tipped aside by Cooper, back to the corner. As Midland looks to send that towards the middle. Midland still has it. They're going to send that to the slot for a shot. That gets blocked. Cooper's got it now. He's going to try to send that down like the ice. It's touched. It's out. Midland collects at center ice. They're looking to reset. Midland with a shot. Blocked again by Cooper. Chipped to the side by Sloan. Sloan now battling. We're going to have a penalty here on Midland. No, we're going to have a high stick on Findlay. Oh, my goodness. And now a timeout by Midland with just under 16 seconds left. So now we'll skate 3-on-6 effectively with Homewood, Cooper, and Fort out there now for the Trojans. Just under 16 seconds left in the game. Cooper tries to knock the face-off forward. Now Midland sends it to the corner, sends a shot up, blocker saved by Biggs. Back in the corner, now it's mishandled. Getting that out of the zone is George Hammer. We've got 2 seconds left, 1 second. They're going to the finals. Are your Findlay Trojans in a 2-1 win over Midland? So a hard-fought game. First matchup, game 1, ended in a 2-2 draw. This one, a 2-1 victory for your Findlay Trojans as they line up, shake hands. Great game by Midland as well. So that means your Findlay Trojans are going to play at 4 o'clock today in the championship matchup of the Winter Meltdown here in the greater Detroit area. So look forward to that. Again, 4 p.m. on the YouTube page. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you later.